Hey everybody, Jim Dexter with Tactically Sound Training Center. One of the questions that I get asked in my TECC classes pretty frequently is use of a belt as a tourniquet. Either you don't have a tourniquet on you, you don't have one at all, and whether it's a good thing to be doing or not, and whether a belt is good enough and not needing to have a tourniquet available or on your person. So I figured I'd do a quick demo today just to show you the difference between a tourniquet such as the TacMed Solutions Soft T Wide and belt. Got myself a little pulse ox fingertip machine here, which will show you guys my pulse, just to show you that I'm not making all this up. While it's not as scientific as a Doppler, it is going to give me an idea of if my pulse is actually shut off or not pretty sufficiently as far as stopping mass hemorrhage or not. So I'll put that on right now just so I can get a good, decent reading on it. Also, one of the things is that I'm cheating a little bit for the belt, in that this isn't the type of belt that I would normally wear. This is an old leather belt. It's a fossil that is real pliable and thin, so it's going to give me a good cinch down on my arm as opposed to the thicker belt that I would normally be wearing for carrying my firearms, such as the Aries or Blue Alpha gear belts that are much thicker and designed to work with your holsters, in conjunction with your holsters. So just going to go ahead and we'll use the belt first. I'm going to set a timer as well, just to show you the difference in time, if there is any, between shutting off what would be the mass hemorrhage in the belt versus the tourniquet. So we'll start with the belt first. Got a reading here of my pulse. I actually have a pulse right now. We'll start this timer and see what I can do with the belt. So one of the things with the belt is that you'll see is that it's hard to slide over my arm. I'll even move my shirt a little bit here in order to try to work the belt back. And now I'm going to cinch down as much as I possibly can. One of the things is that the buckle is working against me. This is as far as I can go on here, and in the buckle portion is just pinching up skin. I very clearly still have a pulse. It's been, what, 33 seconds now. I'll try to go the other direction and see if I can cinch this down any further. So this is about as tight as this is going to go. One of the things is that I have to be holding this now nonstop. There's no way to secure this. I very clearly still have a pulse. We're at 55 seconds of trying this. I'll try it the other direction. And this really is as tight as I could possibly go, even just holding it this whole time. You'll see I still very clearly have a pulse. And we're now at a minute and 15 seconds of this. This is now just constant pressure of me pulling this belt against my arm. And yeah, all it's doing is making my pulse go up. My pulse is actually now racing, and I have no shut. Okay, so according to this now, at a minute and 32 seconds of me pulling on this, I have constant tension on this belt right now. I've got to shut off. I'm going to release it just a little bit here. So if I got tired of holding this belt back, I already have a measurable pulse again. So that was with me wrenching down on my arm and holding this belt with all of my strength in order to keep the occlusion that I had. So I'll let this arm relax down a little bit, let my pulse drop back down to a little bit more of a normal range again, or rate again. And then we'll go ahead and stop the timer, reset this, and then we'll use an actual purpose-driven tourniquet to see if we get any better occlusion. So pulse is going back down. We'll just go ahead and kick this off with the TacMed Solutions Soft T Wide. So we'll start the timer. So you can see, much easier to get going with that. Cinch it down. Turn my windlass. Nice and tight. Secure it in here. Ooh, yeah. And the application was on in 41 seconds. And we'll see what my pulse ox says here shortly. And we're shut off completely at what was probably 50 seconds. Thing with this is that I'm done. I don't have to worry about when I release the tourniquet, because the tourniquet is now on. It's going to stay there, and it's going to stay on without any sort of effort from me. So there you go. There's your tourniquet versus a belt. You're actually probably better off if you don't have a tourniquet if you have the ability to wound pack, just pack the wound, or just apply direct pressure and keep direct pressure on that wound until somebody with an appropriate device, such as an actual commercially available tourniquet, gets there to apply it. All right, guys? So remember, get trained, stay equipped, and be willing.